When I was about 12 or 13 years old, I had this dream of becoming a rock star. And I can actually remember the precise moment this dream was born inside me. I think I was 12 years old, and I was living near Tallahassee, Florida. And I went to this club called the Musical Moon. And again, I think I was 12, maybe 13 years old, and it was a dance club, and this was teen night or preteen night, perhaps. It was a lot of people my age, 12 or 13, and it was a dance club, and I was standing sort of on the side, not on the dance floor, sort of watching people dance, and a Def Leppard song came on. It was Pour Some Sugar on Me. And at this precise moment this song came on, probably about 100 girls rushed to the dance floor and descended on the dance floor in excitement as the Def Leppard song Pour Some Sugar on Me was played. And I remember in this precise moment that I wanted the ability to create that sort of positive energy. And so this idea came to me that I wanted to be a rock star. And shortly after this, I got my first guitar. I think I was 13 at the time. I practiced guitar. I took guitar lessons all throughout middle school and high school. I eventually continued pursuing my dream by going to Berklee College of Music in Boston. And so this dream really stayed with me for a long time. The idea and the goal sort of morphed and evolved over the years. I got really heavily and deeply into music and guitar in particular. I studied songwriting when I was at Berklee. But this goal stuck with me for a really long time. I never became a rock star. I'm not a rock star yet. Maybe I will one day become one. But what I've realized over the years is that this goal, even though I didn't reach this particular goal in the exact way that I imagined it, I've figured out other ways of making money with music and by teaching music business courses. I've kind of figured out a unique way of making money for myself. But by setting this goal, by having this very specific goal of wanting to become a rock star, it really set me on a path where a number of really amazing things happened over the years, really as a direct result, or at least as a byproduct of having this goal of becoming a rock star. So I learned how to play guitar, for example. I didn't really know how to play guitar when I was 12 years old. I invested heavily in lessons and learning guitar. I'd like to think I'm a pretty good guitar player. I learned how to write songs. I studied songwriting at Berklee. After I left Berklee, I formed a band, and I ended up becoming really good friends with my band members. I met my first really serious girlfriend at one of our gigs. We had a 6-year-long relationship. We ended up breaking up, but we had a great relationship for a number of years. And then eventually this path led me to what I'm doing now at howtolicenseyourmusic.com and doing these courses and licensing my music and doing a number of things related to the music business, not exactly being a rock star per se, but being a professional musician and making a full-time living in the music industry. So the whole point, like this really, when I've been thinking about this, and it really got me thinking about how having goals as musicians it can be a good thing and a bad thing. And I think it's a good thing, and it's a really positive thing. I think it's a necessary thing in the sense that it gives us a sense of direction. It sort of orients us towards whatever our goals are. It sort of sets us off on a path towards reaching whatever the goal is. I think that's the good thing. That's the positive thing about goals. I think the downside, the potential negative, is when we focus so much of our energy on reaching whatever this end goal is that we set for ourselves, that we sort of fail to appreciate the process and the journey that's unfolding. I like to think of goals as sort of, it's like having a compass, right? Like if you have a goal, it sort of orients you towards a specific direction. And I think without goals, the tendency for people is to sort of wander aimlessly, not really arriving anywhere. I think with goals though, especially in the music business, because the music business is so tough, that it can potentially be negative in the sense that sometimes if we don't reach our specific goals, we get sort of frustrated and discouraged with where we are, and we tend to forget that it's not necessarily about achieving a specific goal. It's really about the process and the journey that unfolds as we're striving towards certain goals. And the goals that we set for ourselves can change over time. I mean, when I was 12, I certainly didn't have the information and perspective that I have now at 43 years of age. My goals have changed a lot over the years based on new data and new information that I take in on my journey. So the way I like to think about goals now, when I have specific goals, is I like to set goals that I know going into it, even if I don't achieve specifically, I'll still be better off than if I didn't have the goal at all. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a goal of licensing 10 of your songs this year in TV shows and films. So that's your goal, and you write that down and you set out to make that a reality. Well, you may or may not achieve that goal, because let's face it, that goal becoming a reality is based on a lot of factors outside of your control. It's based on supervisors liking and needing your music. It's based on you convincing publishers and other people in the music business to like your music. There's a lot of hurdles that you have to jump through to make that a reality. But just by setting and creating that goal in and of itself, it sort of pushes you on a path. It sets you on a path where just by trying, even if you don't achieve your goals, you'll be better off than if you didn't do anything at all. So if your goal is to license 10 songs, for example, you'll obviously write and record 10 songs. So no matter what, you'll have 10 new songs that you can continue to shop and pitch. It'll force you to become a better writer. It'll force you to learn to produce your tracks more effectively. It will force you to network and interact with people in the business. And it could open potentially unexpected doors that you weren't even trying to open. So, just for example, even in running my website, I've networked and I've met so many new people and unexpected people that if I never created this website, if I never set out to get involved in licensing, none of this would have ever happened. And now I have a business that sustains me going on 10 years now. It's not exactly what I set out to do in the music business, but it certainly beats working in a cubicle or selling insurance or something like that. So I think the bottom line is, with goals, I think you should set goals that motivate you to move in a direction towards your dreams. But if you find that the goals you're setting for yourself are so big and so out of reach that they frustrate you and discourage you and depress you more than they motivate you, I think you should probably reassess your goals. I mean, I think a lot of musicians set goals of sort of this vague idea of quote unquote making it, becoming big. And I think that those potentially can be motivating goals. But I think for a lot of artists, those goals are so big and they seem so out of reach that they tend to be more discouraging than they are motivating. So I would say set goals that are more tangible, that you can actually reach, that there are concrete, specific things you can do on a daily basis to work towards achieving those goals. In my mind, that's sort of the definition of a good goal. So speaking of goals and dreams, I have a really exciting announcement that I'm going to be announcing really, really soon on this channel and on my website, howtolicenseyourmusic.com and aarondavison.net, my personal website. So stay tuned. I'm not quite ready to give you all the details, but it will potentially involve you and your music. This isn't going to cost anybody anything. This is a totally free project for everybody that becomes involved. And that's all I can say for now, but it's going to be really exciting. I'll have details about that soon. And in the meantime, I wish you all the best of luck.